welcome everyone to another RDB Reviews with Ryan Bolquill. Ryan is the author of a WordPress blog where he reviews films, TV, games, you name it. If it's playable or watchable, Ryan has probably been there. Ryan, welcome to another interview. We're going to be talking about
my recommendation.
So Ryan and I spoke last week about recommendations for
Amazon Prime and Netflix.
Wonderful. Amazon Prime and Netflix. Can you remind me, Ryan, the post that you wrote about this on your WordPress blog, it's a bit further down the list, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I read about the coronavirus.
Okay. Let me just find it. This is your lockdown recommendations, is it?
Well, yeah, for those who are staying at home.
For those that are staying at home, what I'm going to do is just show the screen for a minute so people have a bit more to look at whilst I'm doing this. So, Ryan, if you can see, maybe you can help me know when I get there.
Sure thing.
Oh, here we go. Here's my recommendation to watch on Netflix. Here we go. So the blog post we're going to talk about today is this one.
And the one from Amazon Prime.
And one from Amazon Prime. And that one's a bit more recent, is it?
No, I think that was like a star at the bottom, work our way up, maybe.
And has posted a lot of posters, a lot of promotional bits for different films, and he's titled them. So I'm going to ask Ryan.
Oh yeah, one more thing.
Yes.
Those that I left out there, I will display more in this video. The ones I left out, which I forgot to redo.
So there are more recommendations that you would like to offer, but they're not on the WordPress, so we can say that in the interview.
I will tonight, don't worry about that.
So what Ryan's going to do is update his recommendations tonight with even more Netflix recommendations.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, over to you. So talking Netflix, what do you recommend people to watch?
Well, like I suggested earlier, I said let's start from the bottom and work our way up.
So I am now going to the bottom of Ryan's post about Netflix, and he begins with The Witcher.
Yes, with Henry Cavill, which I think is a worthy watch for those who are fantasy nerds or mythical, like Roman times.
Yeah.
And mostly you're a fan of Henry Cavill.
Yeah, he played Superman in Man of Steel, didn't he?
Yeah, Man of Steel. Superman.
That's probably where you know the actor from. This was quite a high-budget production for Netflix, and it's a vehicle for Henry Cavill. But as you say, it's kind of a Game of Thrones-esque fantasy story involving witches or sort of supernatural beings, and the main character, natural being. I've only seen maybe an episode of the program myself. So if you want to say anything more about it, Ben.
Well, not really. Let's just keep it at that. Let's move on. On
your list of recommendations, Ryan, you have quite a few posts of posters all cobbled together. So you've got Kevin Hart's Irresponsible. You've got Amy Schumer's Growing. You've got Russell Brand Rebirths. You've got a lot of comedy suggestions. Dave Chappelle
comedy specials.
Brilliant. Now are they? Sorry, go on.
I was just about to say that they are stand-up comedy specials.
All right. Are there any that stand out in the stand-up? Any that you would suggest over any others?
Well, yeah, but probably those that are going there for description. You type in the search bar, stand-up comedy. You pretty much will find a lot on there.
So if you're a fan of stand-up comedy, comedians on stage, then Ryan is letting you know that there's plenty of that on Netflix. Because I find Netflix is so big, often you don't know what's there. You don't realize the potential, how much is there. So you're suggesting that if people type in stand-up, they'll see everything you could suggest. Okay, Ryan, if I move up the list then, so a lot of comedy, The Umbrella Academy. Again, I've seen a few episodes of this. It's good fun. Can you tell us about The Umbrella Academy, Ryan?
Yeah, it's another one of those adapting from a comic book series on television. Yeah.
Have you read the comic before? Had you heard of it before?
No, because with me, it's one occasional. I don't need to read the comic to know the TV show.
That's right. Yeah, it's a point we've discussed when we talk about film reviews. That you didn't need to read the comic. Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did.
Is it one series or is it returning for any
one
more?
Series, which actually beginning with season 2 coming pretty soon. But we don't know if season 2 gonna happen because now it's all happened.
That's right. If nothing was filmed before lockdown globally, then it's hard to know when things will be out as they were scheduled. Yeah.
But I won't be surprised they do a season 2.
Okay, good. So it's popular enough to have a season 2, but we just don't quite know when that will be coming. But you've got season 1 to watch for now. And again, that's the Umbrella Academy.
Yep.
All right. So that's another series. Then we have a lot of Power Rangers. If you're a Power Rangers fan,
season ever.
I was telling Ryan that I used to watch Power Rangers in the early 1990s when I was a kid, to have it on every day. And it never occurred to me that there were multiple versions of Power Rangers. I just thought it was the one program. Ryan has explained to me that they've been making Power Rangers ever since. Are they still making it now, Ryan?
Yes.
Brilliant.
We need to sell toys.
We were talking about this last week, I believe. In our previous interview, we were talking about programs or like trolls. We were talking about films that are made for the sale of toys, really.
Yes.
So, okay, they've got a merchandise. Do you have any particular Power Rangers series or episodes that you would like to highlight, or is it all good?
Well, I recommend all these seasons for those who've been a loyal fan of the Power Rangers for years. You'll play it.
I'm just going to show people a quick view of some of the different versions that you're suggesting here. Power Rangers Galaxy, Power Rangers Rescue, Power Rangers Time Force, Power Rangers Ninja Storm, Jungle Fury. Wow. Are these all separate series of Power Rangers then?
Well, I say Mighty Morphin is definitely the one who's kick-started this whole franchise on.
That's the one that I would have watched, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, yeah.
CO is and also CO is like a follow-up, but it's like Agent Egypt type formula. Turbo is cars in space, which is in outer space. Lost Galaxy is the same, but explore the galaxy, and the Lightspeed Rescue is like the Power Rangers working with the military. Yeah.
They're all set in slightly different locations or they've got different themes. Are they the same Rangers or are they a different cast for every series?
Different cast for different Rangers, but still in the same universe.
Okay, so potentially they all exist at the same time, do they?
Yeah, because sometimes they do cross over into the same stuff, like the car from in space. Like crossover with the Lost Galaxy Power Rangers.
What that's made me think, Ryan, is when a series needs to promote another of its family, they can do these crossovers. And then if you weren't aware that Power Rangers Galaxy exists, then you see an episode that features them. That's quite clever.
Yeah.
Are they still making Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, or is that a thing of the past now?
I forget to be in the past.
What I might do, I might go back and watch all of the original to relive my childhood. And then if I want to, I could jump onto the other series. Do you think that's a good idea, Ryan, to watch the first one first and then to watch others? Or can you watch them in any order?
Well, it'll be a both.
Again, if you're a Power Rangers fan, probably we've not told you anything you don't know. But as Ryan is pointing out with this review, you can get it all on Netflix. It's all there ready for you to start watching now.
Yeah.
Right, moving up your list, Ryan, we're into TV programs, I'm guessing. So we've got The Stranger.
Oh yeah, I think that's what I just finished watching recently, which is not too long ago. It's a British thriller about a couple that are married and now got 2 kids, and they're worried about his wife has been missing. So this little crime case happened to her, but here's a twist. It'll all be a lie. So it's like, who done it? Who's the culprit? Who's responsible for it?
It's making me think of the film Gone Girl at the moment, which is sounding a bit similar.
Similar, yeah.
Okay, cool. Obviously, having not watched it, I can't talk on any details. I can't spoil the plot because I haven't seen it. So it's kind of a crime drama and a thriller as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many episodes in that, Ryan?
I'll say about 10.
This is something I mean to ask you. If we're talking about TV series, how much of an investment is it? So 10 isn't too much to ask people to watch. And obviously, if you're enjoying it, you've got more to watch.
Who's done it? Starring a girl who was in the main villain for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Main villain for Ant-Man and the Wasp is the main cast. You're not mentioning cast, crew, or details for these particular. Ryan, do you want to go through everything on your suggestions list?
Yes, please.
Okay, so next up we have The Toys That Made Us. Now, this is a program we spoke about when we were last at Level Best Art Cafe, which, if I'm right, and correct me if I'm wrong, is about toys or things that were happening at a certain time in a person's life and how it affects their life. Toys you play with that make you inspired or make you the person you are. Is that fair?
Well, you're mostly right there.
Good to know.
Yeah, basically like take all your very childhood toys and like displaying the genesis of them, how they got started.
Okay.
Made and how they made and how they changed not only like children's lives and families, but also changed culture as well.
Wonderful. Can you give me an example, Ryan, from any episode of a thing that's changed culture?
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Okay.
Professional wrestling.
Right.
Transformers.
Gotcha. That's definitely the toys. So, in fairness, the Toys That Made Us, it's not just toys, although Power Rangers and Transformers, as we've just said, there are toys of those, but they were also TV programs.
Yeah, they're film and TV shows.
Yeah.
Which you do get interviews from the creators of the franchise, toy creators from other areas, and shockingly, not all the time, but a few times, they get interviews from either the stars of the shows, toy enthusiasts, and video personalities.
Wonderful. So it's about the toys that are made from the programs, but you also hear from the program makers as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ryan, I want to ask you about this one. We were talking about this program, The Toys That Made Us, a while ago. Are there many, many episodes now?
Yes, they're about like 4 or 5 episodes each. In each season.
Okay. How many seasons are there, Ryan?
3.
Brilliant. So that's a good number of... So I'm just thinking, if anyone goes on there and they find this episode is not as interesting because they're not a fan of Power Rangers or Transformers, but there's another thing they might be interested in. So each episode deals with a different cultural legacy. Yeah,
like if you if there's like a toy one that you haven't grown up, like educate your kids about toys. Then or you can choose if you want to skip some of them or not.
Okay, good to know. Cool. So it's a trip down memory lane, a bit of nostalgia, whereby people can relive their youth and remember the good times. That I think right now, Ryan, that's a really good recommendation for people, especially if there isn't new things being made. Have fun going through memory lane and look at things you've enjoyed from the past. Great. All right, the next on your list, Ryan, is sex education. We've spoken about this before. This is the great Gillian Anderson vehicle, where she is a sarcastic or very witty sex educator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I definitely recommended.
Cool.
Well, definitely around this time because you hear stories about schools refuse to teach kids about sex.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we need to rely on. Well, actually, let me say again. Yeah, heard a video about this, about the same topic from German you probably don't know. It's Joe Rogan.
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Okay, on his podcast, he brought German about there's many percentage of schools is about sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of relationships.
Yeah, and I suppose what's important about sex education in school is that young children essentially should be aware of what can happen. You end up with a baby and then that can affect your life in radical ways. So, serious hat on, sex education is a really vital thing for kids in school. And you're saying that Joe Rogan had found that there wasn't any or much of this happening in school. So is the program addressing that point, or is it?
Oh yeah, sort of like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But we are close.
Okay, mate, no problem. I just want to confirm it's got Gillian Anderson in it. What is the plot? Would you be able to quickly, very very simply, summarize the plot, Ryan?
Yes, I can play you short notice.
Please.
It's about what you said, the sex education teacher, which is the mother of Horny's son.
Yeah.
Never had a relationship, got dumped. Have a relationship because he's had heard sex in his life. So they get transmitted to this new school.
Mm-hmm.
Which haven't heard anything about sex, ever.
Right.
So, Asa Butterfield and his group of friends, his new group of friends, start their own sex education class about explaining the concept of sex.
So that's a summary of the plot. It's a comedy, isn't it?
Yep. Absolutely hilarious.
Brilliant. Good to know. Because I feel like we've been a bit dry talking about it. Sex education is important, but to know it's a funny comedy. So you get all of that combined. Good stuff. Yeah. Ryan, the next one on your list is The Chef Show. Quite obvious what that's about, I suppose. Cooking?
Yeah, cooking, yeah.
Okay.
And it's hosted by Iron Man director Jon Favreau.
Okay, Jon Favreau directing The Chef. Okay.
Well, no, actually not directing. It's based on the film that he made back in 2013. And now, this cooking show is a follow-up.
Right. So Jon Favreau began something back in 2013, which this program is carrying on from. Is it cooking, Ryan? Is it a program just about cooking?
Yeah, explaining the aspect of cooking in actually a very detailed and intelligent way.
Wonderful. What I'm interested to sort of know, Ryan, is you don't normally post cooking programs, so I was just wondering why this is different. What made you post this?
Well, it's actually intrigued me. The show intrigued me because it got Jon Favreau in it.
Okay, yeah.
And it got a few cameos in it from people that he basically worked with before.
Okay.
Robert Downey Jr., the Russo brothers, Spider-Man Tom Holland, and Seth Rogen.
Okay, and so is he cooking with these people? Are they?
Yes, and somehow teach them how to cook themselves.
Okay, great. That really feels like a useful thing to have on the go now, whilst everyone's stuck at home. If you want to learn how to cook with Iron Man, Spider-Man, and the makers of Avengers movies, then the chef show, sorry,
Yeah.
on Netflix. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And one more thing I want to say, move on, and that is, if you find yourself any other better cooking show to watch on there, which there are many on there, it's your choice.
Okay.
Or you can watch the chef show.
Right. So the point you're making there, Ryan, is other shows are available on Netflix for this concept, but this is one that you found entertaining. For my part, I tend not to watch a cooking program to actually learn to cook. I watch it to enjoy watching someone do something really well, and a bit of charisma, bit of personality. So if you've got a few A-list celebrities coming on board as well, it sounds good.
Yeah, indeed.
All right. Next up is Glow, which I'm a big fan of. I've actually watched this one. I think I stopped watching the third series at one point and never got back to it, which shame on me because it's really good fun. Would you like to explain Glow, Ryan?
Yes, it's set in the 80s.
Yeah.
I think it's set from the actual, this is like way before women's wrestling is now popularised a lot these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is set in the 80s, which is like, basically like, it's like set in the 80s. Stop! It's like, the first season is like the origins of the original female wrestling promotion, way before other women's wrestling promotion.
Okay.
What we hear about today.
Yeah, today it's a huge market, women and men wrestling. You post a lot from WWE. So if anyone wants to know what it's like now, Ryan's WordPress blog, RDB Reviews, has a lot of stuff about modern wrestling. But as you say, this is about women's wrestling. If I'm right, and I might get this wrong, GLOW is an acronym. It stands for the Glorious Ladies of Wrestling. And it's all about it's about the lives of the female wrestlers, how they end up doing that kind of work, and how they train, which is wonderful to watch. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Learning their moves, building their characters. If you're a wrestling fan like me and Ryan are, you've probably fantasized about what kind of wrestler would I be? What would my catchphrase be? My tagline? You know, how would I track talk other wrestlers? So it's great for that. It's really good comedy. It's very well. It's got great storylines for its particular characters. It gives you an insight into the world of wrestling as well.
Yeah, and also it's about relationships with the season grows over time.
Yeah.
Between the relationship with the girls.
That's right. Yeah, how they because they have to work together, obviously. On a wrestling point, slight geek out. I have a lot of respect for wrestlers because it's a bit like, well, it is like acting. For those that don't know, some wrestling is not exactly a competition between who's stronger and who's more able. It's a dance. They arrange who's going to win ultimately, but they make it look very much like it happens by chance. So there's a lot of practicing, rehearsing, a lot of safety precautions. They have to make sure that they don't injure each other. There's a particular bit in one of the episodes where one of the female wrestlers get quite badly injured, and it's a great part of the drama because it makes you realize how what they're doing is very dangerous, and you could get injured very easily. So they have to put a lot of effort into not hurting each other. So a lot of respect for wrestling.
Yeah, and I think they also got like guest appearances by some of actual wrestlers.
Oh, cool. I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't picking up on that. So that's good to know. So if you're a wrestling fan...
You need to watch the show to find out for yourself.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. No more hints from us. Watch Glow on Netflix. It's really good fun. All right. Next, we have Stranger Things, which I imagine a lot of people have heard of. It's been very popular. And it's, again, something that both Ryan and I have watched. So, Stranger Things, Ryan, do you want to talk about it?
Yes. 3 seasons it's on now.
Okay.
And most of them are 10 episodes.
Thank you for that information, Ryan. And the third series is not out yet.
No, it's out now.
It is out now. Okay, that's good.
Oh yeah, season. They're meant to be a season 4, which is probably based on, not based on, sorry. It'll probably focus on the Russians.
Okay.
But sadly, don't know that's gonna happen now.
Got you.
So most of the stars are sent home.
Yeah, just to correct myself, I do think I've watched the third series and that it's the fourth one that I was expecting to come out. Now, it's very hard to talk Stranger Things because it is strange and it is novel, and basically anything we might say about the first series will spoil it. So I think we need to be really careful not to say much about it. Apart from, if I may, Ryan, a thing I noticed about Stranger Things is it refers to a lot of 1980s movies.
Yeah.
It has references to things like E.T., Aliens, Terminator, very good, thank you. I was thinking of Night of the Living Dead, but probably Terminator, Aliens, and E.T. E.T. will be the biggest influence because it follows a group of kids who are really good mates, and something weird happens, something strange happens in their town. And it's basically down to the kids, a bit like South Park. It's like a live-action South Park almost. It's down to the kids to solve the problems and fix things and make everything okay. But to say any more is to spoil it. So people really need to watch it cold.
Yeah, it's very enjoyable.
Yeah, it is. It's very well acted. And it's got Winona Ryder, who hasn't been seen in any major films for some time. I'm really pleased that she's in it. She's really good.
Yeah, I'm even surprised she's finally getting work, for goodness sake.
Well, that's her concern, but it's one of
her robbing a jewelry store in 2001.
Yeah, she made headlines for robbing a store for some reason. She obviously dealt with that, and that's her private info. So she's great in this program. She's very good. The whole cast is brilliant. So Stranger Things, if you haven't seen, get on there. And I haven't said this yet, so I'll say it now. If you watch any of these recommendations from Ryan and you want to thank Ryan for recommending you any of these, you can visit his WordPress blog, which is...
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, mate. That's my internet going down again. Sorry.
That's okay.
We were just finishing talking about Stranger Things anyway, so that's good timing. So Stranger Things on Netflix. Let's talk about the films on Ryan's Netflix recommendations. So I am looking at quite a few film suggestions from you, Ryan. Would you like to suggest any yourself, or would you like me to go through them?
Well, I was going to say I'll go right here.
That's good.
Thank you. Which is Wonder Woman 2017, the two Popes, The Inglourious Basterds,
Yeah.
Kingsman: The Secret Service.
That's the sequel to Kingsman, yeah.
No, I think it's the first film.
Ryan, I apologize. Sorry. That's me trying to jump in and help out. Kingsman: The Secret Service is the first film. Sorry.
The Condemned.
The Condemned. Okay, yeah.
Starring Stone Cold Steve Austin and Billy Jones.
I've just seen that. Great. So a footballer and a wrestler. Condemned. Okay.
You will like this one. American Pie 1 and 2.
Quite. Ryan, there was a program called Schitt's Creek, spelled SCHITTS, that's on Netflix. I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
Oh no, but I've seen it, yeah.
Okay, so Schitt's Creek, it has the dad. It has Eugene Levy, the actor who plays the dad in American Pie, and with the eyebrows, and he's fantastic.
Your internet's going bad.
Sorry, Ryan. Yeah. So I was just saying that there's another program on Netflix called Schitt's Creek with the dad from American Pie, actor called Eugene Levy.
Eugene Levy, yeah. Oh, again. For goodness sake.